Welcome to another episode of Michigan Tech's Husky Hour. In this episode of Husky Hour, you'll learn about effective ways to combat some of the new challenges presented by COVID-19. You'll also hear about some great resources and websites that can keep you up to date on all things COVID. Enjoy!
Hi, my name is Hannah. I work for counseling services. I'm one of the student interns this semester.
My name is Stephanie Cedar-Silva, and I'm the Executive Director of Communications for the university. And I'll be talking a little bit today about some of the resources available online, the information we have about testing, testing statistics, and our health and safety levels.
Hi, I'm Bella. I'm the president of HOSA, the student org at Michigan Tech. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about the different events that we host because we partner with the Center for Student Health and Wellbeing quite a bit.
Hi, I'm Savannah. I'm a third year at Michigan Tech, and I'm a peer ambassador for the Student Center for Mental Health and Wellbeing.
I'm the rep for graduate school government. I'm a PhD candidate from Mathematical Science Department.
Perfect. Well, we are definitely here to talk about how to stay balanced. This is, I think the start of the fall semester always brings some stress to everybody. And I think with the added COVID-19 pandemic, it is just a little bit different for everybody. So we're here to talk about physical health today. It's kind of hard to talk about one realm of well-being without talking about all of them, but our focus today is physical health and how you can take care of your physical health. So I did want to talk a little bit about flu shots, because this is something that I can talk about really quick. Everybody has been talking about flu shots. If you don't know, flu season happens late October and then goes through about December. That is our flu season in the region. And because of the COVID-19 pandemic, it is more important this year to get a flu shot because the flu symptoms resemble very closely to COVID-19. We do have a fairly robust resource sharing on our website, mtu.edu/wellbeing. There are all the local healthcare providers. If we're talking about caring for our physical well-being, that's to go to your yearly exams, in addition to COVID testing, right? We all know that's a thing. So let's transition into Savannah. And I mean, the group can talk about this too, but I asked Savannah to start us off with talking about prioritizing your health and things that we can do to keep ourselves physically healthy.
So in terms of prioritizing our health, I think it's really important for us to start off, prioritize your sleep, because I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to me at least, I have a tendency to, with everything being virtual, we're on our phones, we're on our laptops a lot, and it's super easy for us to just stay up all hours of the night, have a good sleep habit. Even though we're not in person, even though we might not all have to get up and go to class in person, we should still make sure that we're prioritizing that. Once again, drinking enough water, but also eating healthy. I don't know how it looks in the dorms necessarily. I've heard that the meals are worse this year. So just making healthier decisions, it's probably not easy, but being aware of what you're eating and how it affects your body, that's also super important. So remember to eat. The rule of thumb is really like eat the rainbow, not Skittles, but like eat the rainbow. So you have like a little bit of everything on your plate, and make sure that you're staying healthy. So whether it's like, for me, my workouts are usually, I have class in the SDC. So I walk up to the SDC like multiple times a day. That's a pretty big workout. But just making sure that even you're taking advantage of the sun outside or going to the counseling center, I believe you're still able to use the sun lamp. It's doing the little things to make sure that you are giving your body what it needs. So we need to make sure that we're doing the best for us. And same thing with socialization. Your mental health is not separated from your physical health. So if we really want to take care of our bodies, it's also making sure that we are happy up here. You don't just have to exercise, you don't just have to eat well. you can do all those things, but still be upset because you're lacking connection. And so I just want to emphasize that as long as you are doing what you need to do to also connect with people, then that's really the best advice I have for you on that.
I would definitely say that I'm one that's found like little things that kind of keep me sane almost. I mean, it's like the small, like it could be like doing a face mask every night or something, just like those little things that I'll have tea at night, or I'll go for a walk or something, definitely make a huge difference. I think it just, in a time where you don't really know what the next day is going to look like, it gives you like that little bit of structure.
Stephanie, I wanted to plug you a little bit and ask you to talk a lot about where information is stored about COVID. If we're talking about taking care of our physical self, we need to be able to keep all of these communications, right, that the university is sending out organized. So could you talk a little bit about that, Stephanie?
So right now I am on the Flex landing page, which is mtu.edu/flex. All the different tabs have information about the health and safety levels, which we'll talk about in a second, things related to academics and classes, the campus environment, being, out and about on campus, the protocols. There's more here about the health and safety levels as well. And then I think for students right now, one of the most important sections of this website is the testing website. So there's information specific to students. We did baseline testing at when students first came back to kind of get a sense of how prevalent the virus was in the student community. And now we're doing ongoing surveillance testing, to hopefully keep a handle on it and not see the rates of detection increase. Some of you may have already received more than one text message saying that you've been selected for surveillance testing. In fact, I know that I've talked to a few students who feel like they're getting texted a lot saying that they've been chosen for surveillance testing. And part of that is because in the first few weeks of surveillance testing, Kelly Kam, the university's epidemiologist, and other public health officials were really focusing on congregate living, both on campus and off, and where it's, just because of, the way that you're living, how you're interacting and sharing space and whatnot, it's easier to spread the virus. And then also in areas where the virus may have been detected. So if you find that you're getting a lot of text messages, you're not personally being targeted, but you might be somehow affiliated with an area that we don't want to become a hotspot. If you do participate in surveillance testing, if you are in quarantine, or if you've been tested in the last 14 days, you don't have to take another test. So you can ignore those text messages for a little while. If you are symptomatic, or even if you're asymptomatic, but for various reasons you want to get a test, the best thing to do is call the Upper Great Lakes Clinic, and the number is listed here. Or you can call, if you have a doctor that's outside the UGL system, get in touch with them and talk about your symptoms, and maybe you'll need a test, maybe you won't. Another important place for you to go and be familiar with is the testing statistics website. So there's a lot of information in the news right now about, they refer to them as outbreaks, and there's a specific definition for an outbreak, and that can be somewhat of a stressful number. People have been talking about outbreaks in Houghton County and maybe outbreaks related to Michigan Tech, and most of the time they're saying that an outbreak is two people, if I have this correct, two people who are not related, who both have the virus. So I know when I hear outbreak, I think of like an entire population is sick or ill or otherwise infected, and that's not necessarily what they mean. So there are health and safety levels. I know that there were some questions about when we would change the health and safety level. So as you probably know, like if you go to the homepage, it says in a big yellow bar, we're at health and safety level 3. So when do we change those? So there aren't any hard and fast rules. It's kind of a decision. If that decision ever needs to be made, it's going to be made in real time by campus leadership, because it could depend on the results we're seeing in our testing program, or it could be test results from the county. And our numbers do go into county reporting, but often if you see community spread in the county, unless you've specifically heard that it's Michigan Tech, then it's not. If we change, you will know about it. We will make sure we have an alert system where we can go in there and have students notified through text message and email and phone call, and depending on the situation, sometimes we do that all at once. So if we need to change the health and safety level, we will let you know, and we will let you know right away.
I think the general rule of thumb is just be sure that you have the information. I think with anything, whether it's outbreak, pandemic, there's campus safety levels, like there's so much information, it's very easy to get it twisted around. We're all learning how to do this for the first time at the same time. So that can make things kind of clunky, right? We're all learning how to have this conversation and what needs to be discussed and what's going to take long. Like, we don't know these things, right? So something that I've been using when I talk to people is grace and space, right? Give people grace and give them just a little bit more of your attention, your patience than what you normally would. And right, sometimes that's hard because we only have so much space in our own brains. And just give them a little bit of grace. It's like, hey, they're trying. They didn't create the pandemic, right? They, I'm sure, would love for it to be done and move on. But grace and space, I think, is something that we can for sure take away from the pandemic, because we're all doing this for the first time at the same time. I want to remind everybody again of that our website has a ton of information, whether it's, like Hannah was saying, the local healthcare providers, events and programming, some of the other resources we offer, tons of information. So that's mtu.edu/wellbeing. Wellbeing does have a hyphen, well/being. So make sure you're going to the right place, and we would love to hear from you.
Husky Hour is brought to you by the Center for Student Mental Health and Wellbeing. Visit mtu.edu/well-being for more information about programs, events, and workshops. Thanks for listening.